What's up guys, I'm Dark Dally, and this week's custom Ghost Recon Wildlands character build is the Rebel Guerrilla. The cartel knows when he's coming. His entrance is usually loud, fiery, and unpredictable. The Rebel Guerrilla may rig a car with explosives and run it into their outpost, or just as likely, open fire from the jungle with an unsuppressed AK, luring them into a minefield. Or maybe he'll fly an explosive drone into their mess hall at lunchtime. He doesn't hide what he's doing, he wants them to know that he's coming. But they don't know how it's going down. C4, mines, frag grenades, it could be anything and from any direction. The Rebel Guerrilla can always rely on one versatile tool, his customized AK-47. The rifle is a powerhouse and it's accurate. With it, he can take down a sniper from a tower at 300 meters or just as easily an enemy chopper before it even knows he's there. If he needs to be a little sneaky or more maneuverable, he's got that covered too. A couple of compact weapons are never a bad idea if you need to be quiet, but they're great for when he runs out of ammo for his AK. The Rebel Guerrilla is skilled at learning the layout of a base with a little intel from his allies, and is skilled at keeping the enemy at bay once the shit hits the fan and they're onto him. It's never a problem. Not really, and if they really put on the heat, a team of Rebel soldiers is just a phone call away. Alright guys, so it's Tuesday, so that means another custom build for Ghost Recon Wildlands, and this week it is the Rebel Guerrilla character. Now I've been getting a lot of requests, and of course I read them and I take them into consideration for other versions of real life special forces like I've done in the past, and fear not, those will be in future builds. But today we are doing the Rebel Guerrilla. So I want to break this second part of the video here down into 4 sections: tactics, weapons, gear, and skills you may want to have for the character. Now let's talk about tactics and the idea of this character. A lot of people have asked for a cool, creative, fun build that's loud, and this build is definitely loud. Now I do have a suppressed weapon here, although honestly, in all my playtesting and having fun with the Rebel Guerrilla, I haven't pulled it out once. But it's here if you need to be sneaky for a mission. I've already done all the missions, but if you got a mission you need to be sneaky or something, I chose this weapon, and of course we'll get to that in the weapons section, the exact choices. Now some people may think, you probably can't play this on extreme difficulty. That's possible. I'm just playing it on regular difficulty, so I can't really say for that. But one thing I will say, there are 2 ways to make the game harder. One is to turn up the difficulty, and one is to play loud. And playing loud is fun. So when I play this character, I pretty much use everything I have at my disposal. Grenades, mines, C4. There's a couple clips in there. Actually, I really liked this clip, so I'm going to show this clip again real quick. This right here. This is, putting the C4 in the truck and ramming it into the outpost and blowing it up. Things like that were fun. Things like taking cover and hucking C4 over on the other side of the cover, and then when they approach, retreating and blowing it. Whenever I would assault an outpost, there was one particular outpost, I don't think it made it into the opening video. There was one particular Unidad outpost that I assaulted, and I moved around various places on a hill overlooking it, sniping with my AK, and every time I would take a couple more shots, because they were obviously hearing me and they were seeing their buddies fall, every time I'd take a couple more shots, I'd place a mine, move to another new position, take a couple shots, place a mine, move to a new position, and of course they're going to continue to track you, based on where the shots came from and stepping on the mines and whatnot. It's really fun. And basically it's really fun, and you stay mobile. I did die a few times until I really got the hang of it down. Let's go ahead and talk about that. That's pretty much all there is to the tactics. It's being loud, it's staying mobile. A lot of people want more ways to play loud, and this was pretty fun. You can totally play loud. Maybe you have to turn down the difficulty, but then this kind of brings it back up a little bit. You know what I mean? So let's go on to the next section, which is the gear. I wanted to kind of blend in with the locals a little more, wear some of the bright colors, still keep kind of a military, look. And so let me show you what I chose for the outfit for the Rebel Guerrilla. Let's start at the top and work our way down. Nothing special here. Nothing special here either. I honestly couldn't remember. For the tops, I chose the fleece. Let me show you what color. And I've painted it forest green. I wanted it that bright green. I think this kind of looks like some kind of, militia, conscript jacket. is really cool. It's got the patches. I'll get to the patch, but of course you can tell I chose the Bolivian flag patch. I think that's the obvious choice, but so I used the fleece and forest green. For the harness, I chose this. I chose the lightest harness, and I painted it with that camo right there. It kind of looks like a dusty, dirty sand color. I like that. I like the way the camo does that. And also, I equipped the SR635 SMG in the main hand so I would get this look for the vest. I think this look is kind of the cool look. It looks not quite as heavily and armored as some of them. It's got the pouches with like a flashlight and a radio, and it's got the little beaded bracelet. I was like, okay, I think this is the vest that I want for this. For the pants, man, I wanted something that was kind of a little bit loud and brighter colored, but I really couldn't. I wish you could dress in like the bright oranges and greens and stuff like they wear, but I did find that if you choose these pants right here, the 511 Apex A, just like this with no knee pads or anything, and paint it blue, it actually gives you a kind of a bright blue that really goes well with the green top. These actually look pretty good, so I chose the Apex A in dark navy. I just went with black hiking shoes for the footwear. Nothing fancy there. How often do we even see your shoes, right? And then let's move on down the list to accessories. No eyewear. I chose the DM scarf for the face. I think it kind of has an ethnic or indigenous look somewhat. I think the boonie hat was really the only choice for the hats. Let's have a look at that. And I painted it forest green to match the fleece top. Again, it kind of gave me the look that a rebel soldier might have. The earpiece just to, well, you can't wear a headset with that hat, so there's that. Chose no gloves. Yeah, I chose no gloves. I kind of looked at some at the rebel soldiers that would help you, and I decided to go with no gloves. For backpacks, I chose the standard issue because it kind of looks a little ratty and used and worn, and I painted it coyote brown. I think it goes well with the green and brown on the top. And then, so that's it, except for the patches. And of course, I went to flag patches and chose Bolivia. I'm pretty sure that's in the game by default. I've purchased a decent amount of DLC, but I'm pretty sure that one comes in the game. And so that's what I chose for the outfit, guys. Let's have a look at the weapons that I decided to use. This was really fun. A friend of mine turned me on to the His AK. I want to talk about that first. A friend of mine turned me on to the His AK. Now, normally I don't use special weapons too much in these builds, but everyone's got access to this, right? Everyone's got access to the His AK because you get it after Ataqua. You get it so early on. And I think people may overlook how great a gun it is because it's not suppressed. I know I didn't use it forever because it's not suppressed, but let me tell you, it's great. It's got that POSP, 5x magnification scope on it. It's got only a 20 round mag, but let me tell you, this thing does a lot of damage. It shoots down choppers quick. It takes down heavy troops with only a couple bullets, even when they're alerted. It's a really, really good rifle. Sounds great, fires great. So yeah, give it a shot. Now for the pistol slot, I chose this little guy here. For one, this looks like the kind of SMGs that the Bolivian military uses, and I figure a rebel soldier might use tools that were available and lying around. This just kind of seemed to fit the bill for me. It's loud, it's chaotic, and basically I haven't pulled this out either on this build. Mainly this and the SMG are for backup ammo because His AK is so awesome. It's such a great all-around gun for absolutely everything. I haven't used these yet, but I keep them for spare ammo, and this is a fun little tool. Totally a fun little tool. I mean, this is not a build like my last build, the Russian sniper who used the pistol all the time. This is not a build that really does that. Okay, and now to the only gun that I actually did modify, because of course the SMG-11 you can't modify. I probably should have showed the paint. Let's actually do that real quick. For the paint, what I did was I just give it the US Woodland preset, and then I went through the parts and painted them each individually black. That's what I did for the paint there. So the SR635, I chose this. This is one of the most badass, possibly overlooked and highest damage SMGs because the SR635 is actually a PDW. It's a personal defense weapon, and it fires much larger, more rifle-like rounds than an SMG. This thing does a lot of damage. I have one friend who swears by this and shoots down choppers with it, which is totally viable. This is a really, really great gun. Now, it's not as good at shooting down choppers as the His AK for sure, but we got a suppressor on this. Let's actually look at the parts. I chose the extended buttstock. I really wanted the buttstock out there, largely for the look. It kind of really goes with the AK, with the similar kind of stock. I chose the Russian red dot scope. Again, I think I was just trying to think what kind of parts would they have available to them, and Russian surplus reflex sight definitely seemed like it'd be up there. 30 round magazine. I chose the shift short angled grip. I usually tend to choose this with SMGs because the accuracy it gives. A lot of the SMGs have that real crazy walk on their recoil. They'll walk off to the side a lot. And the more accuracy that you add, the more it turns your horizontal shot group into a vertical shot group, is what I'm saying. Putting this on an SMG helps kind of limit the amount it walks off to the side when you're shooting it, you know, if you're having long sustained bursts. The 3-dot, it's nice and small, and it gives you a little accuracy boost. Again, kind of help with that shot group a little bit. Some of the parts I put on this, like for instance the shift short angled grip and the 3-dot laser on the rail, are to help with the shot group a little bit and kind of get it more centered. And they work together to do that pretty well. I chose a standard barrel because this build is all about noise and damage. Now, this weapon in particular is not about noise, but I definitely wanted the damage from the standard barrel because this thing does exceptional damage, and I wanted to capitalize on that. And that's why I used the long barrel. And then, of course, the suppressor. This is the one suppressed weapon that the Rebel Guerrilla uses. And then, of course, I want to look at the paint. And I just chose the navy blue and left the parts the way they are. It left the attachments black, and I left the weapon navy blue. Kind of helps with the blue and green theme that's going on with this character, you know, with the tape on the buttstock of his AK and the blue pants, and then also a navy blue SMG. I thought it was good without going too far. All right, now let's have a look at the skills. If you want to really try a playstyle like this and you're wondering what skills might be helpful, I'll go through and show you. Now, a lot of people have characters like me that have everything maxed out, so it kind of doesn't matter. And this is the kind of game I think that when you play it, you don't tend to start over a character for a new concept, but rather adapt that concept, you know, into your character that you're using. And so maybe you already have a bunch of skills, but I'll go over some of the stuff that I use the most on this. For stable aim, not necessarily. I did some sniping with his AK, but it's all pretty quick shots. I didn't really, because you're not really going to want to shoot an assault rifle. And this does have some bullet. This does not have the bullet drop of a sniper rifle. I want to reinforce that. His AK actually has more bullet drop than most of the assault rifles, even though it's got that 5x scope. So I wouldn't recommend taking any shots over 300 meters. So this right here is really not necessary. This is not necessary whatsoever. Ammo capacity is absolutely essential to this, is ammo capacity, because I fire a lot with this. I fire a lot of rounds with the AK. It's very fun. Also, vehicle destruction, absolutely. You know, this is a loud and proud build. These right here are two things that you definitely want. Time to aim. You know, and actually I would say that too, for getting quick shots with this scope. I didn't use the drone much, but I definitely used it some. Mostly I used the explosive component of the drone, fly it into a mess tent when they're all having dinner or whatever, or fly it into their tents at night and boom, just blow up like 5 or 6 guys. That felt really fun with this build. I did a lot of explosive drone using, so I would say that that's one thing that would be cool to go with. I definitely use a lot of C4 and mines too. This build, I guess because it's loud and that kind of ups the difficulty a little bit, you want to make use of basically all your tools. I definitely use mines, C4, and some grenades. I didn't really use the binoculars much. And then here, car shield. Well, nah, that doesn't really go with the build. That's handy if you do any car combat. But basically, everything here is going to be a little bit handy. Detection actually doesn't matter. I would sneak around a little bit, but I didn't really care if they saw me. So I guess pretty much probably the main thing from here that's going to be helpful is bullet resistance and explosion resistance, because you might take a few shots with this one. So don't say I didn't warn you. And then I'm not sure any of this stuff here is particularly useful. So that's kind of the skills I would mainly focus on. It's a really fun build to run and gun with, and I hope you guys like it. Be sure to tell me what you think in the comments below, guys. So that was this week's build, the Rebel Guerrilla. There's a lot more stuff coming up, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. A lot more stuff coming up. Also soon I want to do a 5,000 subscriber special. I mean, I thank you guys a lot. You know, it's really awesome. Thanks to all of you. Almost to 5K subs, and I already have an idea what we're going to do, and it's going to be really cool. I think you'll like that, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully, that'll probably realistically be early next week. I'll have a 5K sub special. It'll be really cool, guys. Tell me what you think about the Rebel Guerrilla. Give me any other ideas you think might be cool to see. I've already got, I've got a ton, because I read your comments, you know, I've got a ton of ideas that to work from in the future, and I like to do the real life things, but I also kind of like to do something a little more creative and fun like this, and just be loud and shoot shit up. Alright guys, I hope you like this video. It's been a real pleasure. Guys, my name is Dark Dally, and I will catch you all next time.